Hi Tony. So Tony, this is the video I said I would send you, and it's how to get your KML points or your place marks from Google Earth Pro. So if we're in Google Earth Pro, I'm just going to open those files you sent me, which are there. They are there actually, but I want to go from my desktop, so I'm going to go to my desktop here and spatial vector. Okay, so these two, I'm going to open those two. Should zoom me out. Okay, here we go. So we've got these two layers now. Let's just turn them on and off. Oh, what's this one? This one's the boundary, hey? Okay, so that's like the polygon that you're looking at. Okay, we can use that. All right, but what I want to do is I'm going to bring those in, and I don't know if I have got the latest satellite imagery for this tile, but if you don't, well, if I don't, you'll just be able to add it from your Mr Sid imagery folder, and use the grid and add it. I'll show you how to do that. But anyway, let's go into QGIS, and yeah, I'm going to import these place marks, which are currently saved as a KML, into QGIS. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up QGIS. Okay, so my QGIS is opened up, and I'm just going to refresh that or get a blank project. In fact, I can actually open the project that we created for that other video I sent you, which was projects. Yeah, I did save it, so I'm going to save that. We'll open that, and I'm just going to remove this other stuff. I don't need this anymore, and let's save it as something else. What would you call this? There's more to it than that, but importing KML points, I mean, that is one of the tasks. Okay, so let's go and add those layers now. So from my Open Data Source Manager, I need to navigate to that folder, so it's on my desktop. Data, spatial vector, and there's two here. I can select both of them and click Open, and click Add. Select all, click Add Layers, select all, click Add Layers, and close. Okay, then I'm just going to open up my styling panel, and it's currently got embedded symbols. I just want to go for a single symbol for the count, and then for the ring fence also I'm just going to go for a single symbol. This one, I'm just going to go no brush. I'll make this one and maybe make it a nice red. Can't see anything yet because I need to zoom to it. So if I just right click and zoom to the layer, here it is here. Okay, so we can turn on the Google satellite imagery. All right, so these are, so QGIS is currently rendering these KMLs. So the KML is sitting on my desktop, so it's still a KML, and it's just referencing them and rendering them. So if we open up the attribute table for the count attribute table, you'll see it's got not a lot of information. It's got all these are default columns that come in with a KML. Description, timestamp. It's a pity there's no timestamp actually, but it's actually got, there's not a lot going on. There's actually no data. So we don't have to worry about losing anything when I convert it into a GeoPackage. So let's do that. What is this? Ikageng. Okay, let's just create a GeoPackage called Ikageng, and you could maybe have a GeoPackage called informal structures, and then have different informal structures from different areas as different layers. So for instance, let's rather do that so you can get a sense of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to right click on this, so the KML, which is a layer, right click on it in the layers panel, export save features as, and I want to create a GeoPackage. I prefer GeoPackages. I'm pretty useful tool, and I like working with them. Let's go to data, spatial, vector, and this will, what are we calling it? Informal structures. informal structures, GeoPackage, save, and then now this is the layer. So I'm going to go imagery. So those are the structures for imagery, and we can add it to the map after it's been imported. So we click add. So now that is the GeoPackage layer. This is still the KML. So I'm going to right click and remove that layer. I don't need it anymore. I don't want to be confused by it in any way. And then I'm also going to import this one. So let's just import that ring fence into that same GeoPackage. And luckily QGIS takes me back to the same folder, so I don't have to worry about it too much. Okay, we're going to call it imagery ring fence because I'm assuming now with your informal structures GeoPackage, you might be working in different areas. So maybe you're going to have like a Zakele ring fence or something like that. So that's my thinking there. I'm just going to I'm going to copy the style from this one, and I'm just going to paste the style on top of that one, and then I can remove the KML. Okay, so here's the idea. I've imported a KML bunch of place marks to be used in my GeoPackage. Opening up the attribute table, there's a whole lot of columns which are useless. So I want to remove them and I want to add new ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on it, go open attribute table. I want to toggle the editing pencil and I'm going to delete everything and then create my own columns. Now if we look at the FID, which is a default column which is added to any GeoPackage layer when you create it, it's a unique identifier. And a GeoPackage layer won't work without this, so don't delete the FID. In fact, I don't think it'll even let you delete the FID. So that one we're going to leave. But everything else I'm going to delete. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm just going to select them all. Okay, so let me just show you what I did there. I clicked on this little tool here, which is the delete field. So first start editing session. Click on delete fields, select them all, and then they can travel. All right, they're gone. So now I'm going to add a couple of columns. I'm going to add, what are we calling it? Let's just go type, text, and this can be 25. Now I'm thinking type. Type maybe can be, it can be informal, formal. Okay, we'll just go informal, formal. You could even have roof type if you wanted to capture whether it was a steel roof or a thatch roof, that kind of thing, but we're not going to go that into that much depth. But if you did want to do that, you can create a column in the exact same way. Then I want an XY column, so I'm going to go X, that's got to be a decimal number. Okay, X is long lat, so if you want lat, a lot of people go lat long, so maybe let's do that. I'm going to delete that one and let's do the Y first. So Y, decimal number, okay. And then X, decimal number, okay. So XY, we're not going to do a Z field for elevation, but I am going to capture a date field. So let's go date and time, okay. And then lastly, what are we going to go? Technician, maybe let's go technician. So tech for technician, that's going to be my name or your name, and that can be 25. Okay, so now these have been captured by someone else, so we'll start off by capturing creating a capture date for everything else. So what is today's date? Let's just assume it happened in June, right? So you'll know this, but I don't know this. But we also need to capture the X and Y stuff, and then also the type. So for everything, I need to populate all of these columns. So I'm going to use this little field calculator. I'm going to update existing. I'm going to update existing type. Type is, let's go, informal. So that should populate everything. So now everything's an informal shack or structure. Then the calculator again, we're going to update an existing field. I'm going to update Y. I want all of the coordinates for Y. And in this case, I just type in $Y. Okay, now that's going to give me the decimal degrees for latitude. And then we'll do the same for X. In the same way. And you guess what it is? $X. Okay, that's for longitude. And then the date, we'll just make the date up. You might know the date that you got this. In fact, if I go back to the desktop and just look how I think if there's a date on those, let's see, that's today's date. Okay, because that's I copied it through today. All right, so that doesn't really help me, so I'll just make up a date. So update existing field, we're going to go date, and if we said now, open and close brackets, it just gets today's date. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, we're going to go today. All right, now, and they should all be the exact same time, although 13 seconds past 12:16, they're all the same. Okay, so we know when I created this column and populated it, that was the exact time. And then the technician name, I'm just going to make it you. Okay, I'll just make it you. All right, save and close. All right, so informal, that date, etc. What we could do, source, that's a good one. So I'm just going to create another column, and then it's just going to be called source. Okay, where's it come from? That is my thinking. So this can be 25. The source of all of these is going to be the KML import. So we'll just call it KML import. Okay, and then save and close. Stop editing and close. Okay, so now let's see, have I got imagery for this tile? So let's just go back to the data source manager. I'm going to turn off the satellite image, go to the data source manager, and let's go and navigate to, I think I do have it somewhere. Let me just check. GeoPackage training module 2. Oh no, it's not there. It's under data. Mr Sid imagery. Is there a grid? I don't see the grid, but I do think we have the grid somewhere. Actually, you know what am I doing here? Just cancel this. Close that. Where is the grid? I think I know where the grid is. Let's just try that again. So I'm just going to add a layer, and possibly in that layer that came with tutorial 4, hey? Just try that. Tutorial 4, shapefiles. Aha. Just make this I'm going a bit quickly now. Hopefully you can keep up. Pause the video if you do get stuck. Data tiles, that's it. Okay, let's going to add that. Close that. I'm going to put them at the bottom here. I'm going to give them a quite a specific color. Maybe make them like a blue like this. But then what I want to do is I do want to label on that tile. So if you have access to the imagery, all you have to do then is just go and look for it. Okay, so we're looking at 2627 CA22. Okay, so now I've added the grid. You see the slight overlap between the images, which is no problem. So let's go and see. If I go to my raster image and click on the Open Data Source Manager, and I want to navigate to, on my desktop, 2627 CA22. Open that up, click Add, and close. Okay, so there we go. So that's it. So this version of QGIS, which is the installer, the Windows installer, comes packaged with a Mr Sid reader. So luckily that opens up. Let's put it over here. I'm going to put these two in their own little folder. So I'm going to select them and just say group selected. Just call it images. What are those? Aerial photographs? It's fine. Images is fine. Okay, so let's see. How different is it to the actual Google imagery? I'm looking at it. Let's just flick between the two. Let's flick between the two. So I'm going to turn on Google imagery. definitely different. There's actually less structures. Okay, so it's okay, so I'm seeing him some look. The Google satellite imagery doesn't look too bad, and it actually, I mean, what would you say? Would you say it's newer? Anyway, that's besides the point. What we're looking to do here is capture structures. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to set up the form for this informal structures so that it can capture structures in QGIS instead of Google Earth. So let's imagine you wanted to capture a bunch here. Look, not quite inside your area, but let's imagine we want to capture these ones here. We'll do that now. So before I do that, first of all, I want to choose a color that contrasts quite a bit compared to the satellite image. It does blue. Is blue a good thing? I know yellow is always a good one. Yellow is always a good one to capture with, depending on the color of the satellite image. Okay, let's go with... okay, we're going to go with yellow. But then what I'm going to do is, because the default color for QGIS, the default color... Okay, the default color for QGIS for selecting features is yellow. So now, I mean, look, you can see a problem immediately. Let me go and select a whole bunch of images here. I can't tell the difference because my color is yellow. Whereas if this was brown, let's say, now we can see the difference. Okay, so choosing a color of yellow is great to be able to see what's going on, but then you can't select stuff. You don't know what's selected. So we can quickly go into the properties of the project. So we go to project, properties, and of course I can maybe just choose a different color other than yellow, but I like yellow for images. So what you can do is go to project properties and change the selection color to something else. So let's say okay, so now the selection color of the project is like a cyan. I just want it slightly brighter than that, something like that. Okay, so there we go. So now everything that's blue is selected. Okay, so I've just flipped the script really. Okay, so there we go. Next thing I'm going to do is I said I wanted to set up some defaults. So if we go to the properties of the informal structures for Ikageng, we'll go to properties. We're going to open up the attributes form, and I'm going to create a new form with the drag and drop designer. The FID is an automated thing, so I don't need to change it. I'm just going to remove that. The type by default, so what is this? This is okay, we're going structure type, and there's two options here. We're going to go with value map. We're going to go informal, and then I'm going to go, so I've got informal and then formal. Informal, formal. Okay, those will be my value maps, my drop down menu. But the default, actually I don't want to apply that on update. The default is going to be informal. Informal. So anything that's captured, if it's new, it's going to immediately be informal. Okay, next thing is going to be my Y, which is latitude. So I don't want to have to capture these if I can make the program update them automatically or capture them by default. So X and Y values are perfect examples of something you would want to capture automatically. So latitude, longitude, and this is $X. And I do want to apply that on update. So what happens here is if I move a point, if I tweak it slightly, it's going to update it immediately. And then we're going to go, okay, date, that's fine. The date, I'm going to apply values on update. So now if it gets edited, the new date for whenever that was edited will also change. Okay, So I can say apply the tech. Now this is whoever's capturing. So what was it again? It's at user underscore full underscore name. That'll bring in the name on your computer. So mine's going to be Ian Wilson. And also default value on update. So if someone tweaks and edits something, you can do that. And then the source, okay, where does it come from? Let's just change this to maybe captured by. I suppose that could say edited or captured by, but that's fine. Let's go captured by. And then for source, data source, and I'm going to give it two options here. So the first option will be digitized, and then the other option would be the original KML, which what did I say? I think I've already said something. Let's just apply that and say okay. Let's open up the attribute table. What did I say there? I said KML import. I don't know why it's in brackets. Okay, so everything currently captured by Tony, KML import. Everything that we otherwise going to digitize is going to be digitized. So KML import. KML import. And then we do want a default here because likewise I don't want to, I'm not going to go apply on default. It's just going to be in single inverted commas digitized. Okay, meaning that you are the one who captured it in QGIS. So that's what digitized means, is it wasn't imported from Google, so someone didn't bring it in. Okay, I think that's all good. Apply and okay. Okay, so now what we can actually do is let's go run these categories, and we've got two categories for data source. We classify that, and the other one is going to be digitized. And we can have another category, so it's all other, and let's just go other. So if you for some reason don't actually categorize something, it can be other. So all other can maybe be red, digitized, newly digitized. Let's go like I know I said yellow, so we'll go yellow for the KML import, which is that one there. And then green can be for anything new. Okay, it's captured from scratch. Okay, that should also stand out. Okay, so there we go. So what I've done, Tony, is I've essentially set up the form so that when I digitize new features, it's going to capture a whole lot of stuff immediately. If I just go back to properties and then open up, there we go, open up the attributes form again, there is some information here that we don't actually need to see, but I'm going to leave it there because it's going to capture it automatically. Everything's going to be captured automatically unless you want to change something. Okay, so let's say apply and okay. And then what I'm going to do is start an editing session. And let's go in over here. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of more structures here. So I'm going to click on this little add point feature button. So if you don't see this, it is called the digitizing toolbar. And there's also an advanced one which you're not going to use. But if you don't see that one, just select digitizing toolbar, and that will allow you to add new points. So select your layer in the layers panel, click on the toggle editing pen, and then this will become available. If you hadn't clicked on that, it would be grayed out and you can't click on any buttons here. We want to select the pencil and then start digitizing. So let's go put some dots on some other structures. Okay, so here's one. Everything's captured already. So we can just say okay. So on the keyboard, I'm just going to press enter. 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 Oh, why is it not letting me? I'm just going to go, okay, it looks like I have to go okay every time, which is not ideal. I thought if I just pushed enter it would accept it. Regardless, you see how easy it is to capture new features. You see now that's probably like an outhouse or an outside toilet by the looks of things. So are you just looking to capture households, or are you also looking to capture every structure? So I guess that's something you would know, but hopefully you can see how easy it is to capture new structures. So let's go informal structures. There's one. I'm a bit annoyed, I must be honest, that this thing is not allowing me just to hit enter, but I can move the mouse. Okay, I'm going to flick between the two sets of imagery. Bear in mind that so Google satellite imagery, it may have actually just recently been updated. If that is the case, it might be that it's more current than your satellite imagery that was done for your structure count. If we compare these two, see they don't quite overlap 100%, and that could just be because of the position of the camera on the plane or the satellite. The angle between the satellite and the ground was taken at different times for each of these different images, and they're possibly from different satellites anyway. Okay, so you get the idea. I mean, you can just keep capturing features, and I don't know, like I said, why. I should just be able to push enter. Okay, not working, but I'm happy with that. Let's click on the pencil to save edits. Click Save Edits, and if we open up the attribute table, we can see there'll be a whole bunch of new digitized ones by myself on the date collected, latitude automatic, and they're informal by, oh, there's a formal one. Why did I say formal? Anyway, doesn't matter. Imagine that one's formal. Okay, and how many have I captured? I just captured 27 in a relatively short period of time. So that is how you can digitize more structures. Now, I just want to show you something else quickly. I'm going to scan out quickly. You can, if you want to select a bunch. So you can, let's say we want to know how many fall inside this red area here. So then you can just use your research tools. We go research, select by location from informal structures that intersect with our informal structures ring fence, and then click run and close, and down here 997 features selected, but that does include the new ones that I've just selected as well. Okay, so you can quickly get a sense of how quick and easy it is to count the structures. Oh, there's a couple here, as you can see, that don't fall completely inside the ring fence, so you may want to include those as well. What you could do is just use your manual selection tool, hold your keyboard down, hold the shift key on the keyboard down, and then go and select the ones that were not selected. If you go to your attribute table, you'll see now there are 1000 selected out of possible 1019. So there are obviously 19 that aren't in the right place. Okay, so that's it. Tony, I think that's pretty much everything I said I would show you. Let me know if there's something I've forgotten. Good luck with that. I hope it goes well. Cheers.